Welcome to today's deep dive into the principle that has built every strong, muscular body you admire. Whether you're a beginner lifter, a seasoned athlete, or just someone curious about how muscles grow, this concept is the backbone of strength and hypertrophy. We're talking about progressive overload, the simple but powerful rule that separates long-term growth from endless plateaus. Let's break it down from science to practice, and by the end of this video, you'll not only understand what progressive overload really means, but also how to apply it to your own workouts for steady, reliable results. At its core, progressive overload means gradually increasing the stress you place on your muscles over time. Think of your muscles like problem solvers. They adapt to challenges. If you lift the same weight, with the same sets and reps over and over, your body says, "We've solved this problem already, no reason to grow." But if you increase the challenge, a little more weight, one extra rep, slower tempo, shorter rest, your body is forced to adapt. And that adaptation shows up as strength, size, endurance, and resilience. This idea isn't new. Ancient Greek wrestler Milo of Croton reportedly trained by carrying a calf every day. As the calf grew into a bull, Milo's strength grew too. That story is the oldest example of progressive overload in action. So what's happening inside your body? When you challenge your muscles with resistance, tiny micro tears form in the muscle fibers. Your body repairs them, and in the process, they come back slightly bigger and stronger. But here's the key. That repair only happens if the challenge was new. If you repeat the exact same stimulus, your body repairs, but doesn't bother upgrading. That's why progressive overload is non-negotiable. Without it, you stop progressing. With it, your body is constantly pushed to the next level. It's not just muscle either. Progressive overload strengthens bones, tendons, and even your nervous system. Your body literally rewires to handle more force, faster recruitment, and better control. Now let's talk practical application. Many people think progressive overload just means adding weight. But there are at least 8 ways to overload your muscles, and you can rotate between them to keep progress going. Increase weight, increase reps, increase sets, improve form, slow tempo, shorten rest times, train more frequently, and use advanced techniques like drop sets, supersets, or pause reps. The best lifters combine these methods rather than only adding weight. Why? Because progression isn't linear forever. There comes a point where 5 extra pounds feels impossible. But you can still progress in other ways. Almost every lifter hits a wall. You keep showing up, but the numbers don't move. This is where people quit. But the plateau is proof that your body has adapted. It means it's time to change the stimulus. If you can't add more weight, try adding a rep. If reps stall, slow the tempo. If tempo doesn't challenge you, add a set or switch to a new variation. Progressive overload is about constant adaptation. Even small tweaks can reignite growth. Here's the danger. Too much overload too soon leads to injury and burnout. The goal isn't to add 50 pounds overnight. It's to add gradually. Think small wins, 2 pounds here, 1 extra rep there. Over time, those tiny victories add up to massive gains. And remember, overload is only one side of the equation. Recovery is the other. Without proper rest, sleep, and nutrition, your body can't repair. Overload without recovery is just breakdown. Overload plus recovery equals growth. Let's put this into context. Say you're bench pressing 1-100-30-5 pounds for 3 sets of 8. Week 1, 3 by 8 at 135. Week 2, 3 by 9 at 135. Week 3, 3 by 10 at 135. Week 4, bump to 140 pounds, drop back to 3 by 8. This cycle is a simple progressive overload system. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Programs like 5 by 5, push-pull legs, or even bodybuilding splits all work as long as you're progressing. The program doesn't matter as much as the principle. Progressive overload is the common thread behind every successful training plan. Here's a perspective most people miss. Progressive overload isn't just about lifting. It's a metaphor for life. When you step outside your comfort zone, a harder project at work, a new skill, a tougher challenge, you're forcing growth. Just like your muscles, your mind and character adapt to greater demands. It's why weightlifting builds discipline beyond the barbell. You learn that consistent, gradual stress plus recovery equals progress in every area of life. But let's talk about mistakes. Ego lifting, adding weight too fast, sacrificing form. Ignoring recovery, not sleeping, not eating enough protein, training too often. Inconsistency, skipping sessions, and expecting growth. Neglecting technique, chasing numbers instead of clean reps. Avoid these, and progressive overload becomes your superpower. So here's the truth. Progressive overload is the single most important concept in training. If you apply it consistently, you'll never stop progressing. Maybe slowly at times, maybe with plateaus along the way, but growth will always come. Don't chase overnight transformation. Chase small, steady improvements. Add the extra rep. Add the extra pound. Take one less breath between sets. Over months and years, those tiny efforts stack into incredible results. That's the secret to gains. Not magic, not shortcuts, but the timeless principle of progressive overload. If this breakdown helped you, drop a comment with the way you're applying progressive overload in your training. Hit like if you learned something new, and subscribe for more science-based, no BS guides to strength and fitness. Strength isn't built in a day. It's built rep by rep, pound by pound, with consistent overload. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one.